Right, are we filming? So people have been asking how Berty, my Pleo RB is, and he's absolutely fine, if that's not tempting fate. I've had him well over a year now, a year and a few months, and he's been absolutely fine. He's been a cracking, healthy dinosaur. And I thought, because I've had him well over a year now, I thought it was about time I gave him a Gibbs treatment. All the other Pleos that I've had have been gobbies, so they've been old. So I've automatically given them a Gibbs treatment as soon as I've got them, because they've been really old and the skin's been terrible, completely dried out and cracking. So Bertie's skin's still pretty good. Doesn't feel like it did when I first got him, but it still feels very good. But putting this on as a sort of preventative measure to stop it drying out, so that hopefully you never get those cracks in the first place.
Drying out meaning it loses
its plasticizers. Yeah.
Apparently this stuff replaces them.
Well, I did talk to somebody on Bob the Pleo. Somebody on Bob the Pleo came on. And he said, I think he said he'd had a Pleo for like 10 years or over 10 years. And he'd used Gibbs like regularly, like once a year or something. And that Pleo skin was still like new. It never got cracks and tears in like they usually do if you don't do anything to prevent it. So, you have to shake this, don't you? I can't remember. Anyhow, I'm pouring some out. So, yeah, it's, what is it? It's for cars and things, isn't it? It's got a gun on there.
It's a product, a bit like WD-40, except it's based on paraffin, highly purified paraffin.
And so it's sold as a lubricant, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it says a ultra lubricant, water repellent, metal cleaner, and corrosion inhibitor. So
it's nothing about Pleos.
So I just put it on with a paintbrush, which may seem a little over the top, like why using such a tiny brush, but I don't mind. It's taking the time putting it on. I mean, it's not like you've got to do it very often. I find it quite relaxing. And if you're using an artist's paintbrush, then you know, you're not going to put too much on, so you're going to put it really thinly and evenly. So yeah, I'm quite happy to use a paintbrush, an artist brush, I should say. So I mean, if you're using an artist brush, there's no excess to wipe off. So I think that it's better personally. But you're going to say something, Paul?
It doesn't bring the paint off, this stuff.
No. Well, I found the only thing that
it seems to get absorbed into the skin, and it's tacky a few days, isn't it? But you give it a few more days, and it just makes the skin ultra supple. And then as you said earlier on, it just stops it drying out.
Yeah, I mean, with Bertie, you know, his skin's lovely. And I'm using it as a preventative measure.
That's right. It's better to prevent these tears. It's better to prevent it drying out in the first place and the skin becoming degraded and torn. Because once it's torn, of course, you can't fix it with this stuff, but you could prevent the tears appearing in the first place.
We try using super glue
to repair some of the tears
on your gobbies.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, it had limited success, didn't it?
It's a bit hit and miss, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if this, where you usually get the tears is around the neck and the tail, and that's because the skin's sort of flexing in those areas, isn't it?
That's right.
And so I suppose, like even here, a little bit of paint is starting to come off. Now that's where you normally get the tears, isn't it? Where the kind of like, for want of a better word, the sort of neck bones are. They look just like bones, don't they?
They do, yeah.
I mean, if you've ever seen a Pleo without its skin on, they look just like bone. It's like a proper skeleton, isn't it?
It is.
So that's where you normally get tears, where you're starting to see just a little bit of paint coming off there. It's sort of, you get tears like that where the skin's flexing a lot, because of the movement of the dinosaur. So, and the other place where my gobbies have got tears is the tail. The tails are terrible, aren't they, for getting tears in?
You apply the Gibbs all over, don't you? Every square centimetre.
You might as well, because I'll say that's where you get bad tears if you never use any kind of lubricant. Over time, you will get tears, because that's been shown with the gobbies.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
But even where you don't get the really bad tears, like because those are on the all the ridges here, that's where you get the really awful tears. But even on places like the back, where you don't get bad tears, you still get cracking.
Yeah.
If you don't put those plasticizers back into the skin, you will eventually get cracking. What were you saying, Paul?
Some people use another product. I think there were possibly one or two more products available that the people have had success with other than the Gibbs. And then there are a range of other products that you might think are suitable, like furniture polishers and things like that, but which actually cause damage over time.
Do they?
So I've heard one or two anecdotal reports, yeah.
Oh, what sort of damage can furniture polish cause?
Well, I don't know. I mean, furniture polish comes in many different recipes, doesn't it? Depends what's in it.
Right, so it depends what furniture polish. But this stuff just seems to work, so...
Well, you've done quite a few gobbies with this, and it's always improved them.
I've actually put it on some dolls' faces as well. Dolls that have got like soft sort of faces. Though I had an absolute disaster with one, which sort of put me off after that. But I found with Amazing Amanda, it brings the face up nice. But I did use it on my real baby. It was awful, wasn't it? It seemed to just like swell right up, like.
Yep, it reacted really badly,
really
it also brought all the paint off.
Yeah.
Whereas it doesn't bring the paint off on the Pleos at all.
So,
unless you rub very hard with the cloth.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I like to use just a little artist brush, because then you've got no excess to rub off, so you're not going to rub your paint at all, or spoil your paint at all. And it doesn't take that long, does it?
Nope.
Even with a little artist paintbrush.
Would you like to end it there? Because I have to pull the tea out.
Okay, so how many minutes have we had there,
That's
Paul?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. Well, there isn't anything else really to say. I mean, I've done nearly all of it there. I'll be turning him upside down, doing underneath him, and doing these feet and these legs.
Okay.
And then I'll basically just leave it to dry off.
And soak in.
And soak in. And after a few days, that'll be nice and supple.
Yep. Okay.